So if you want stepboard running lights, I believe your 2011 to 2016 F250, F350 Super Duty, stay tuned to this video, because I'm going to show you how I did it. I borrowed some stuff from other YouTubers and kind of made it my own. I also made them removable, and I'll go into that and I'll show you what I did. So let me start by saying the way I did this might only work with a higher trim truck, a Lariat or up. I'm not sure if it would work on an XLT or an XL. But you can see here I got strips put on, and I used 4 individual light pods. I didn't run the single strip the whole way down. And the reason I did that is to get around this little break here. And also because I get my truck undercoated yearly. That's fluid film. And I like the idea of getting the rockers done up to the doors. So I want to be able to take these off. So all this is held on with is magnets. And they're not normal magnets. We'll go over that in a sec. But the first thing you want to do is look and see if you have that plug right there. Hold on, let me get further under it so you can see it on your truck. It is right about at the gap between your bed and cab, a little bit to the cab side. It's actually like right behind this bracket here. But you want to look and see if you have that. If you have that, pretty good chance everything will work, because all you're doing is tapping into that. It's already pre-wired from the factory. You're not getting crazy adding, changing things. You know what I mean? Alright, let's see what we can do. I'll show you what all is involved. So this is what the bracket will, or the plug will look like normally. It has a dummy plug in it already from the factory. And you can actually take this out, but if you, where is it? If you squeeze right here on the back side, I'm not going to be able to do it with one hand, but you squeeze on this back side, you'll be able to slide this plug out, and that's one of the first things you need to do. Alright, 2 confessions to start off before I get too far into this. Number one is I am completely unsponsored by anybody. Nobody's going to sponsor anybody with like 2,000 subscribers. Some of this was taken off of Colt's Way. I kind of am improving, in my opinion, like something more to what I would like over his video. So I encourage you to watch that one too, and this one, and get an idea of which way you like to go. But here's what the plugs look like. I have fluid film on them, the black stuff, so I clean them off. These are going to go into my glove box, so that whenever I get my truck resprayed, I can unplug my lights, disconnect them, and plug them back in. I bought this aluminum channel at Lowe's. It was about $11 a stick. If you do it to my length, you're going to need 2 sticks in my setup. Your setup might be different, and you can do it however you want. I got these 12 volt DC whatever. I bought them off of Amazon. Here's 2 that are left over from the other side. I'm going to need a couple of those. Silicone, I'll go over that in a quick second once I introduce. Actually, let's move that over to here. I like these electrical connectors that are both solder and heat shrink built into one. They work really, really well. I'm really happy with them, and I'll continue to buy them. Again, still not sponsored. I got the Mag Daddy magnet clips for cable ties. I use these on my trailer when I wired it, and I just can't, like, they're just too good to not use. I mean, they're a little spendy. They do make cheaper versions of this that aren't the Mag Daddy brand name. Experiment with those at your own risk. And the reason I have the silicone, and yes, I know this isn't like super automotive silicone, it's what I had laying around, and I got it, you know, once the tube's open, you might as well use it. And that is to kind of weather pack the back side of this connector. This is the connector that is going to go in place of that connector. It is a Ford speaker harness connector. This is the company and the part number I got this one from. Don't have to shop at that one, but that is basically what it is. It's a 1998 and up Ford speaker harness plug connector. Okay, and then I got a bunch of this, which is just your 20 gauge. If you look, Google LED light automotive wire, it's pretty much what comes up. I got like 65 feet of that. Don't need 65 feet, but for as cheap as it is, you might as well order it. Alright, I'm going to pack this with silicone. I'll take off the other side that I've already done. I'll lay it up here and we'll use that as our template. I am going to make one modification from one side to the other, and I'll go over that in a minute. And like I said, all this stuff here deals with another project we're doing that I'm going to film, and you can probably see it. Alright, let's take that other side off. Alright, tailgate of my truck's a little busy right now, so I brought you over these wood pellets so that a little easier to see. But here's that plug. The black wire off the plug is the positive hot wire. So you actually want to wire the black to the red and the red to the white. The white is your ground. I've already checked that, verified it. At least double check me, make sure that that's right, because LED lights are very polarity sensitive. If you hook your on most lights, you hook the positive, the negative, negative, the positive. It doesn't really matter on incandescent bulbs, but on LED lights, it'll go and then they won't work again. But I cut the channel into 30-inch sections. Why 30 inches? Because I have 32 inches between the brackets on my running boards. So it gives me a little wiggle room, and if I made it exactly 32, it wouldn't fit anyway. And these are the Mag Daddy clips, magnet clips, and that's how they stick to the inside. And I also like this channel because I can run my wire in it and get it kind of the lay. That's another positive benefit. And then here's the back side, and then this goes over the plug. The only difference is I'm going to make this wire a little bit longer, because right now this one just kind of goes straight up to the plug. And like I said, on this side I have on the driver's side, you have your emergency brake cable, so I want it to actually hook up and over, and I'm going to add another Mag Daddy magnet, more than likely. But now that we got it, we can cut this new stick of aluminum channel to 30 inches and start from there. We'll start replicating. Don't forget your safety glasses, and if you have a carbide tip blade on your circular saw, I found that they make really nice work on aluminum. Thin aluminum anyway. Alright, now we got our 30-inch aluminum. Don't forget to deburr. Inside, outside, upside down. Get yourself a nice file that fits in there. Because if you're going to lay your wires in there, you want it, or if the wires are going to touch it, you don't want any rough edges. Alright, so with the channel up, this kind of orients me a little bit. Notching the channel up, but you want to take and prep your metal, whatever your metal is, to receive, see all that dirt? To receive your lights. Whatever brand you should choose to use. So here, I like to use brake clean. I know Chris Fix says about alcohol. Either way, what you need is a solvent. Oops, I just bumped that. But anyways, then we're going to take our LED strips. Let me flip that around so I can make sure you guys will take your LED strips. And the way I did this may differ slightly from the way you do it. And that is, I took about an inch roughly from either end, and that's where my strip starts. And you're going to want to Give them a good push down so they're nice and tight. Make sure everything fits really good. Includes that piece of heat shrink tubing that isn't quite heat shrunk because, you know, these were not expensive. I'm not going to say the C word, but they were inexpensive. But we'll address that a little bit too. Alright, I got both the tails in the center. You don't have to do it that way, you can flip them around so the tails work, but this made it nice and easy for me to have basically one junction per light. That's what I was looking at. So we're going to go ahead and put on, oops, got to open this package. Put on the other lights in exactly much the same way. Just like such. Helps if you have some fingernails when you do this. Oops. And I'm not really measuring anyway, because, I mean, you'd have to really get underneath the truck with a ruler to measure it and figure out how. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take, and this is the front of the truck on this one, and then, so these two are going to sit like yo. But now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these wires, and actually what I'm going to do right now is go find my electrical tape. Alright, found my tape. Actually I didn't find it. I got a new roll out because that's kind of what you do. But take a little bit of this off. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to get these wires pretty close to centered up, you know what I mean? And then I'm just going to tape them together. Don't have to go all the way. We're just going for a cleaner look. And in my experience, you should buy quality electrical tape. And don't ever figure your electrical tape is just for installation, not for insulation from electricity, not for weatherization. So don't sit there and think that you can use this instead of like heat shrink tubing or something like that, especially if it's going to be outside. But I like to go, I don't know if you can see, these have like a little foot on them. And I'm just going to tape that down too. We're going to go right up to almost that light. That makes it nice and clean, I think. And again, this is the top, front of the truck, back of the truck. Keep yourself oriented. Now, what you're going to have to do is, first off, I like to make them even Steven. I'm going to take and clip that. But then these are two wires stuck together, and it's kind of hard to, well, you're not going to be able to connect them right that way. So I take my little pocket knife. I'm going to do it right here in the bed of the truck. We're going to stick this down in between the two of them. Hold it still, and then cut it just like that. So, if you didn't get that the first time, I'm going to do it again. We're going to stab right in between the two, and we're not going to move the knife. The knife's not going to move. We're just going to pull the wire. So, my battery died. I'm not 100% sure where. I tried watching the video, but it's pretty long. Probably going to edit it down anyway, but you get your wires twisted together, and then get the solder right over top of it. And then what you're going to do, and I'm going to put you up here, and I'm going to zoom you in. If you're going to get your heat source, you can use a heat gun, or I prefer a torch just for the simplicity and the portability of it. And you don't want to put it like right in the flame, but you kind of want to heat it up just a little bit and try to get it as much as you can from the bottom. There it goes. I hope you can see that, but it just, all that silver just came out, so that just soldered itself together. Like, we're not talking a whole bunch of direct heat. There it goes. Alright, and if you zoom in, really close, you can see right in here where it's silver on this side and this side and this side and this side. That means you're good and gone. And you want to keep your black to your black and your red to your red. Alright, let's widen this back out. And then, sorry, I had to move you, and then I tuck them down in, or yeah, wrap them in electrical tape. I found my original roll, by the way. And I'm using the electrical tape kind of as a loom. I don't have quite the space to really loom it. Then we're going to tuck this right into there. See how it tucks nice and in. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over to this end. And again with my electrical tape. This will help hold it into the channel. And then if you go right to going around the wire, it'll make it so when you pull on that, you're pulling on the tape. You're not actually pulling on the wire, which I kind of like. And then that's just going to lay in there like that. And just for sakes, and so visually it looks more appealing, I'm going to tape up this side as well. Because I'm anal like that. Oop, I'm off camera. Way off camera. Where is my... There it is. Sorry, I'm looking at myself upside down in the viewfinder because the way the camera's flipped up, I can't always see it. But yeah, I just taped that up. Now we're going to go over to our other piece and measure how much distance we want between this wire and there. Alright. And the survey said about 9 inches. Now we don't have to be exact because, you know, we're not machine fitting anything. Let's go ahead and put this at about 9 inches. That's a hair over 9, but we'll live with it. But anyway, and then you're going to run your wire down in to there. Then we're going to kind of do the same process here, except wherever these wires cross over, you know, wherever I pick within here, we're going to cut this one and then splice it all together. So to keep you from crying of boredom, I'm going to skip ahead and just show you the 4-way splice. So here's what I got. I'm going to zoom you in just a little bit. Alright, so you got, this is the wire that was fed the whole way through from the other side. This is the wire that's going to continue on, and these two, oops, that one came undone, are the wires for these two lights. And what I'm going to do, we're going to twist that one back together, but then I'm going to take like red to red, put that together, twist them up. I mean, I'll have to slide it to one side to do it, heat them down, and then I'll show you how I'm going to tuck it all together. Alright, so now they're all soldered together. I'm going to peel this up. And for the most part, I'm just going to wire tape the crap out, or electrical tape the crap out of it. Wire tape, electrical tape. This black tape. I'm going to black tape the crap out of it. Because like I said, we're just trying to get it so that it lays down nice in that channel. And the channel is its own loom. It should not, it doesn't have any edges to rub anything, and plus we tape it at the edges. So once you get this all nice and tight, and electricity does not care what kind of angle it runs. It really does not. Alright. Oh, I'll edit some of that. Oh, well, I might as well keep going. And then to finish off this, we're just going to go again in the end. Like I said, that way you're pulling on the tape, not the wire, and you're good. Alright, I gotta take some measurements. I gotta measure from about here up and then over and then back down on the frame so I get this up and over the emergency brake cable. So I took my rough measurement, and from the about where this wire is going to cross out underneath the cab up to where I plan on attaching it's about 13 inches, and I need another 4 inches to get to where I want to go. Now I already packed that with silicone. Didn't do that on camera, but I think I got 4 inches here. Yeah, I got like 5 inches, so we're gonna go ahead and measure out roughly 13-14 inches and snip. Okay, now I'm gonna show you how to connect the two. Alright, on this connector of this brand that I bought, the black wire is your battery positive. When the door's open, I plug these in. Battery positive is this side, and the way to check that on your own is to go ahead and plug this in without anything connected to it, and then hook your multimeter, the black side of the multimeter, to ground, and then touch both of these points and figure out which one's supplying voltage. The other one's just a ground. So I don't like having non-weatherproof connections on the outside of my truck as much as possible. So we're going to go ahead and strip these guys back. Looks to be about 14, 20, 20. Alright, and then what we're going to do is we're going to connect our red wire to our black wire using the same techniques I've shown you the whole way through. Alright, I'm going to skip ahead so you don't get bored. Alright, we got our black to red and our white to black. Good deal. So, what we're going to do next is final part of this before we install is we're going to add our magnet clips. And I do like these clips, these Daddy magnets. Like I said, I've used them before to hold stuff, and there's not a whole lot of weight here. With this strip of aluminum, this wire and these lights, I mean, it's a lot less weight than you would imagine. But what I like to do is get it lined up pretty good, and then I wouldn't use this to break these off because these aren't the greatest zip ties, but I'll pull it tight there. Snip the tail, and then I put one in the middle and one on the end. Simple as that. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And I am going to, unlike the other side, I'm going to add one like in here just to hold this up and out of the way. I'll show you that once I get it all on, but you don't need to see me put every single one on. Next time you see it, it'll be me sticking it on the truck. And then this is about what you end up with. I got my plug-in side. I got 3 of these per, dang it, it's stuck to my truck. 3 of these per. And those of you that are worried about paint damage, Don't be too worried. There's no real hard edges to these, for one. And for two, if you actually get a real good close look at one, you'll see it's concaved. So the magnets are stood off just a little bit. They sit mostly on this plastic outer shell. So the next shots will be of me sticking this to the truck. I'll go ahead and stick on the other side. We'll kill the lights and see how it looks. Or if I failed miserably. One or the other. Alright, so all we do is we take our front to the front, our back to the back. Then I go up in behind the running board, and I usually like to stick one side like that. Oop. Go ahead and stick the other side. Let me go back around. Stick this side. Like that. Need a little more room. Like that. That. Our wire's tucked in nice behind this brace, and then we're going to go underneath and I'm going to route it and plug it in, and we'll see how she looks. Alright, it's a little tight filming under here, but here's my emergency brake cable. So we're going to want to go over that and to the plug, which is right there. We go. Which side goes up? That side goes up. I'm not gonna lie to you. You gotta kind of hold your mouth just the right way to get that sucker in. Actually, I'm gonna need both hands. I'll get back to you. Again, I apologize for the bad camera work, but Mag Daddy clip, plug, wire, and it just kind of hooks around. It's not tight. I wanted to leave, you know, a little bit of room. Sorry, it's not tight. But let's get the other side on and open up the truck, see how it looks. Alright, it's not perfect, but it's as dark in here as I can make it. Let's see what happens. Ooh. That's cool. Yeah, both sides light up. And I can take them off whenever I want. No tools necessary. Aww. I love it when a plan comes together. Too cool, too cool. Too cool for school. Alright, that's GSE shop. And this has been another successful project. Next, we'll put some lights in the bed. But that'll be another video. Alright. My camera even thinks the lens cover's on, but you can see just a little red light over there. And this is how much of a difference it makes. It's not a whole bunch of light. Like, I wouldn't be reading a tape measure by it, but I can find stuff. Ain't nothing getting lost in the bed. Alright, I've said it twice. Time to go make supper.